Is Yula Nzale. So President William Ruto has criticized the court's decisions blocking the implementation of flagship projects under his administration. According to the head of state, most projects being battled in court are backed by the government's manifesto, which he says represent the will of the majority who voted for the current regime. Now, he was speaking during the Supreme Court of Kenya's 12th Jurisprudential Conference, which saw Chief Justice Martha Koome hail the progress made by the court in legal jurisprudence and transforming the society. Safina Chieng Ouma has more.
President William Ruto presided over the official opening of the Supreme Court of Kenya's 12th Jurisprudential Conference in Nairobi. The head of state commended the progressive journey of the Apex Court in its role as a custodian of the Constitution.
It has helped us reject the many false dichotomies that once constrained our policies and politics, including the belief that freedom must be sacrificed for security and that democracy and stability are mutually exclusive.
The court's jurisprudence has purposefully harnessed the Constitution as a powerful tool to promote the well-being of individuals and driving societal transformation for the common good.
And with several litigations challenging key government projects ranging from the Social Health Insurance Fund, the Affordable Housing Program, as well as the new university funding model, on the basis of unconstitutionality, Ruto used the opportunity to defend what he termed as manifesto-backed projects reflecting the will of the people who voted in his regime.
Sometimes, as politicians, you have to balance between being popular and doing the right thing. Sometimes they don't go together. And then you sacrifice your political capital to do the right thing. But then the court on the other side decides to be popular and undermine the agenda that you have. And allow me, Madam Chief Justice, to appear before you on this matter.
Koome, on her part, led calls to defend the principle of separation of powers between the three arms of government with proper checks and balances in their interdependence.
When courts are invited to deal with political questions presented in a legal nature, there is an inevitable risk of being drawn into perceptions that plague political play. It is important that political institutions exhaust all political solutions and only turn to courts as a matter of last resort.
Mutual respect is a necessary condition for the coexistence of the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, all who have one clear calling to serve the citizens of this great nation.
I urge each of us gathered here, within the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature, to champion this spirit of interdependence in our approach to public service.
Also in attendance among the dignitaries was the newly sworn-in Deputy President, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki, who challenged the judiciary to find mechanisms to balance between public interest and the higher national interest.
Other than the parameters and principles that the courts are helping us to understand about public interest, are there other higher values, primordial, existential, fundamental principles which are crucial to the existence of Kenya?
President William Ruto has pledged support for expanding judiciary infrastructure in response to demands for a new Supreme Court building. Safina Chieng Ouma, Citizen TV.
The Parliamentary Budget Office is now cautioning President William Ruto's administration against pursuing new taxes and levies as they risk hurting the people further with no assurance of generating higher revenues. Instead, the parliamentary organ is recommending that the government enhances the current revenue-raising measures and to deploy technology to seal existing loopholes. Stephen Leto has more.
Just like jumping from the frying pan to the fire, President William Ruto's administration is yet again faced with another headache, that of economic stabilization, occasioned by the rejection of the Finance Bill 2024, a move that led to slashing of expenditure, reducing ministerial allocations, and freezing new development projects planned for different parts of the country. The Parliamentary Budget Office is a professional body that provides professional advice to the legislature with respect to budget, finance and economics. In its latest report, dubbed Budget Watch for 2024-2025, the office is sounding a red alert due to the budget cuts occasioned by the rejection of the Finance Bill 2024 and revenue shortfalls. Development expenditure in the country has increased its dependency on development partners or donors who account for 43% of the development budget. At a time that the Treasury has presented a raft of proposals for consideration, some of which had been rejected in the Finance Bill 2024, the Parliamentary Budget Office warns that introducing new tax policies does not guarantee better compliance or high revenue. PBO says that indirect effects of tax policies should be carefully considered before introducing new amendments. In its recommendation to the state, the Budget Office says the government should prioritize alternative approaches to revenue enhancement over new tax proposals, including closely monitoring current tax administration systems and ensuring their full implementation and effectiveness. According to the report, instead of relying on new tax policies, which are likely to create new tax burdens on Kenyans, the government should focus on improving tax administration through better enforcement of current tax policies. In the 2022-2023 financial year, Treasury recorded a revenue shortfall of 123 billion shillings. In the following year, ending June 2024, the revenue shortfall rose to 205 billion shillings. And with the revenue shortfalls now a thorn in the government's expenditure, the budget strain is visible and worrying. The Budget Office is now calling for strict expenditure rationalization by reducing non-priority expenditures, a rollout of the e-procurement system to improve transparency, as well as identification of commercially viable projects and to be undertaken under public-private partnership. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Let's talk about the exams now. The 2024 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination officially kicked off in 10,754 schools across the country. A total of 965,501 candidates were registered for the Form 4 national exams, even as Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos announced tough regulations aimed at curbing cheating during the exams. Seth Olale has more.
Early Monday, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos oversaw the opening and distribution of examination materials from containers for the 2024 KCSE exams in Nairobi's Kibra area. The process kicked off simultaneously in 610 designated centers across the country to ensure timely distribution of exam materials to schools. In Kiambu County, the exercise was conducted by Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo in Kikuyu area.
So far, we have not had any major security incident to be worried about, and we expect that this is going to be the situation throughout the rest of the coming days. In a collaborative effort to ensure a smooth examination process, Education Principal Secretary Bello Kipsang and Teacher Service Commission CEO Nancy Masharia led the process in the coastal region.
And we are prepared to ensure that our children transit very smoothly.
We've also been funded with another 1 billion shillings to retool teachers in preparation of grade 9.
A total of 965,501 candidates sat English and Chemistry Paper 1 across 10,754 schools. In tough regulations aimed at curbing exam cheating, candidates' names will for the first time be printed directly on the exam papers to deter malpractices. All supervisors have been barred from carrying mobile phones or electronic devices into examination centers.
This year, the rules are very, very strict. The exams they've got some security features. The papers are secured. We are ensuring that there are no phones in any particular center, and if you find somebody is insisting that they want to be there with the phone, it is an offense. We can take disciplinary action against them or move them. So let us not in any manner disobey the regulations that were put.
A total of 181 adults and 12 prisoners have also registered to sit KCSE exams. As examination takes place nationwide, Education CS Julius Migos has assured that adequate measures are in place to ensure candidates in flood-affected areas and regions facing security threats sit exams. In the spirit of fairness, the thousands of candidates sitting this year's KCSE hope that the Ministry of Education has put in place credible measures to ensure that the quality of the country's education system is upheld. Seth Olale, Citizen TV at the Moi Girls School, Nairobi County.
And even as the examination exercise concluded on the first day of theory papers, several incidents were reported in different parts of the country. In Meru, a KCSE candidate died hours before the examination kicked off. Meru County Commissioner Jacob Ouma, who did not reveal full details of the candidate, confirmed that the boy was to sit his national exams from Tigania West Sub-County. And as Miriam Nyambura now reports, 4 incidences of candidates sitting the exams from hospitals were also reported.
Day 1 of the 2024 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Theory Examinations and death incidents as well as KCSE candidates giving birth have been reported in various parts of the country. A male KCSE candidate from Tigania West, Meru County died hours before the start of the national examinations. Details into the cause of death and the circumstances remain unclear.
Tunasikitika kwamba hadi kufikia saa 6 za usiku leo tumempoteza mwanafunzi mmoja ambaye anatoka katika maeneo ya Tigania West.
The ongoing Form 4 exams also bringing to the fore cases of teen pregnancies, as 4 candidates sat their first papers, English and Chemistry Paper 1, in maternity wards. 2 candidates in Meru County sat their exams from the Meru County Teaching and Referral Hospital. In Nakuru, another candidate went into labor just 2 hours before the exams began. She is currently admitted at the Nakuru County Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Saa 12 leo tulijulishwa kwamba kuna mwanafunzi mmoja ambaye alipata pengine atajifungua hivi karibuni ama leo, na tayari tumeweka mikakati ikiwa tutaruhusiwa na hospitali ama na daktari atafanyia mtihani pale hospitali. Ni mmoja kwa sasa.
At the Kericho County Referral Hospital, a candidate from Laliat Secondary School in Ainamoi constituency, Kericho, delivered a bouncing baby.
The mother gave birth at around 3 a.m. this morning. And when she came, as I said, she came with a condition called fetal distress, which is an emergency, which is an obstetrical emergency that needs a cesarean section. That is what was done in theatre. She's going to stay around 3 to 4 days as we observe her.
Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Let me get a quick reaction from Janet Mudhoni Ouko, former CEC for Education, Nairobi, is joining me in studio. Thanks for making time, Janet. You've heard about the new measures. Is that the silver bullet to curbing exam cheating?
No, I think it's a good attempt, Trevor, and I really want to laud the ministry for moving with speed. I think the kinds of measures that we have seen this time round just goes to demonstrating that there is quite some leadership that has been injected in the ministry. Takes, for example, the idea of the papers being coded. Trevor, you've been in this country where papers have been circulated and nobody can trace where that came from. But at least now, if you circulate a coded paper, then the ministry or NEC is able to get you. So it's anonymous, you know, nobody knows who we do not know who that paper belongs to, but NEC can be able to know. I think it's one good attempt. The other thing is about zero fonts around the examination area, because you remember that is what they were using to take photos and to circulate and to share the papers and cause all this confusion and so on and so forth. So I think that we've seen some measures that really give confidence to our examination system, because it was very important, and we've been saying this, that the credibility of our examinations really mean a lot to not only to us, even in the region and even globally.
Yeah, is it time to reconsider how exams are administered? Because you've seen from Marianne's story that there's those who are in hospital beds, there are those who are about to deliver, who are in labor. What is the best way of administering exams? Because is it fair to expect a student to perform at their utmost when they're in labor, or they've just given birth, or they're even in a hospital bed?
We've always advocated for some level of flexibility, because really a candidate sitting the examinations and they're in the labor room and they have to do their chemistry paper, really they cannot give it their all. And so by the time you're giving that child their verdict, then you have not considered so many things. The good thing is that KCSE, KCPE, all of them are being phased out, and we are going to be experiencing a situation of assessment. And a situation of assessment is a good thing, because it does not only take account of your previous activities that you have done in the school, but it doesn't put so much pressure on the learner at that particular time. I think something else that we have seen that is really good is the absence of all this fanfare and the panic and all these guns in schools. I think it's really good, and we are encouraging the minister, the current cabinet secretary, to also consider even the launching of the results. Remember last time there was a lot of the government was criticized for so many officers traveling from here to Eldoret to go and release the results. Okay. So, you know, the moment we make it so high stakes, that is why you could see a lot of cheating happening. There are exams that have been concluded, the KPSEA exams, and it has been near 100%, integrity. So to go to win, because KPSEA examinations in their nature is that there's going to be a situation of 100%, transition. So the stakes aren't as high. And this is the conversation that we've had every time, to say, reduce all this craze about these A's and so on and so forth. And probably everybody else gets to relax. And even the learners themselves, they get to relax.
All right, and we'll talk about that in just a bit when we come back to the conversation, because does lowering the stakes necessarily lower the quality of education or examination? Life generally is a very competitive atmosphere. If you now go into assessment and not exam ranking, does that change? But most of that we'll talk about in just a bit. For now, Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza on Monday came face to face with the challenges patients undergo at the Kenyatta National Hospital as they seek treatment. During a visit to the facility to assess the implementation of the new health insurance scheme, that is SHA, the CS encountered firsthand the difficulties patients face in navigating the payment processes under SHA. Ben Kirui has more.
From overcrowding at the largest referral and teaching hospital in the country to the challenges posed by the new health insurance scheme SHA and the shortage of essential equipment like those used in dialysis at the renal unit, this is the reality on the ground that confronted the Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza during her visit to the facility.
Naweza mtuongezee mashini ingine, sababu kuna mtu anakuja hapa saa 11:30, hata saa hii ako hapa. Kama mnaweza tu
mashini moja tu, na hii ni shida kubwa. Watu kama sisi tulifika hapa saa 1, hatujafika kutengenezwa saa 6 midnight ndio wanaondoka, na ni watu sensitive kwa kuwa wana magonjwa mazito.
This marking her first tour to assess the implementation of the new health insurance scheme, the CS witnessed firsthand how patients are often forced to wait for long hours for emergency treatment due to delays in payment process.
Lakini kwa wale wanaingia, ninasikia wana shida sana, inachukua muda mrefu. Mimi sikuwa na shida kubwa sana.
The CS acknowledged the existing challenges and assured patients that our ministry is actively working to address them.
There are challenges which we will have robust interventions to address them immediately as the Ministry of Health.
many patients have reported being asked for additional payments despite having registered for SHA. The ministry attributes this to delays in patients' migration from NHIF to SHA.
Seme unapikwa CT scan, wanakuambia ni 10K, wanakuambia unaongezea, wanalipa 6, alafu unaongezea 4, na walikuwa wametuambia watakuwa wanalipa yote. Hapo mtusaidie sana. Vile mtu anatabika na pesa yake iko hapo.
One of the things that we have unearthed is that most of the patients who are asked for co-payment are patients who are in the previous NHIF system but had not migrated their data to the SHA system, and therefore they are not visible from that aspect of SHA, and therefore they are told to pay extra.
Patients are undergoing dialysis with a minimum contribution of 300, or the poor people who cannot access, who we call the indigents, they can have their services at no cost.
The rollout of the Social Health Authority was intended to revolutionize Kenya's health sector, but it continues to encounter setbacks. To date, over 13 million Kenyans have registered for the new health insurance. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Let's talk about politics now. Azimio leaders Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa have signaled the unveiling of a new coalition by the end of the year, bringing to its deathbed the Azimio La Umoja coalition. Speaking in Kitale as they paid their respects to Kenya's 8th Vice President, Michael Kijana Wamalwa, the Azimio co-principal said that the new coalition will seek to provide alternative leadership in 2027. And as Kamau Mwangi now narrates, the leaders have continued to call out the President William Ruto administration over high taxes.
With DAP Kenya being the latest party to declare intent to leave the Azimio La Umoja coalition, the one strong political vehicle that gave Kenya Kwanza a run for its money in the 2022 polls is on the verge of sliding into oblivion, with a majority of parties that form the movement starting to leave. The announcement that a new coalition is in the offing, seemingly driving the proverbial last of nails in the Azimio coffin after the main coalition party, the Orange Democratic Movement, started working with government.
A good idea always gives way to a better idea. What we are thinking about is a better idea. We are looking ahead and we are very consultative.
We are just a few days to the new year, and there are new things that are coming. And I believe there will be a new coalition. I believe there will be a new government.
Tuko kwa hiyo coalition led by Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, ndiye atakuwa president wetu come 2027.
Speaking in Kitale, Trans Nzoia County, the remaining Azimio chiefs argue that the move is meant to build a political vehicle key in checking the government and speaking for the people on issues such as the rising cost of living and high taxation.
Watu wanazungumzia juu ya yaliyotendeka mwaka 2002 wakati mzee Kibaki na ndugu yetu Wamalwa walichukua ukombozi wa nchi. Nadhani itakuwa hira marudufu mara 3 mara 2, because vile wa Kenya wako na hasira.
And I believe that this is the team ambayo itaokoa Kenya kutoka kwa ufisadi na wafisadi kimaadani. Itaokoa Kenya kutoka kwa Zakayo na ushuru wake.
Azimio was first dealt a blow when a number of its constituent parties decamped to Kenya Kwanza in post-election agreements. Cracks within the opposition coalition further widened when Martha Karua's NA Kenya, in July of this year, gave notice to exit the coalition after members of ODM were absorbed in a broad-based government. The notice by DAP Kenya to exit Azimio now leaves Wiper, ODM and Jubilee as the major parties in the Uhuru Kenyatta-chaired coalition.
And I want to urge the media not to bury Azimio before it is actually dead and buried. If we come up with a new outfit, it could even incorporate, perhaps, Azimio itself.
Kamau Mwangi, Citizen TV.
Now, police have been granted 21 days to detain a suspect linked to the killing of 3 women in Isili pending conclusion of investigation. Hashim Dagane who was arrested on Sunday, was presented before Makadara Senior Principal Magistrate Mary Njagi, but was not required to take a plea. Police say that they need time to conclude the complex investigations, including DNA sampling, and that the suspect is considered a flight risk. The suspect will be detained at the Ruaraka police station until the December 2nd mention of the case.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the highest blessing in Jannah. I just don't want to talk a lot about this case as of now, since it is ongoing investigation, but we'll wait from the detectives and from the government as well. And I just want to thank to the family member who took part to capture this killer, as well as the detectives who worked tirelessly night and day to capture this killer.
All right, on that note, let's take a quick break. Your Monday Report. We're back with much more in just a bit. Don't go too far.
Coming up, reprieve for riparian evictees as court directs government to compensate them.
As a parent, you want your little one to experience all that life offers. To touch the world with an open heart and curious mind. But the world, for all its beauty, holds unseen dangers. Germs, bacteria, tiny threats, waiting on every surface.
Dettrex protects you and your family from disease-causing germs.
That's why I choose Dettrex.
Allowing the freedom to be yourself all day long.
Dettrex, endorsed by Kenya Progressive Nurse Association. Bidhaa bora kutoka Pwani Oil Limited.
These days, you have to shop smart as everything is so expensive. I shop smart. I always get a good bargain when I buy my mbogas from Mama Chege. I shop smart. I buy the 1 kg of Msafi, which costs the same as 500 grams of a popular detergent. I shop smart. Msafi removes tough stains and keeps clothes bright. And its pleasant fragrance keeps clothes smelling fresh. Chagua smart, value maradufu, na Msafi.
View Travel's Thai Adventure. Relax on Pattaya's beaches, explore Bangkok's vibrant city and adventure in Thailand. Encounter wildlife at Safari World, experience magic at Dream World, and speedboat to Coral Island. Experience all this and more in a 7-day trip starting from $1,180 USD per person sharing. Angukia deals moto na View Travel. Book now and lipa pole pole. Visit viewtravel.com or call and WhatsApp 0703-254-254. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
Kutoka jukwaa la afya hadi siha na maumbile, Citizen TV imekuwa mstari wa mbele katika kuhamasisha na kuelimisha watazamaji wetu kuhusu mambo ya afya. Novemba hii tunaleta huduma za afya karibu nawe. Jiunge na kikosi chetu kikiongozwa na Mwana Hamisi Hamadi.
Siku ni Ijumaa tarehe 8 Novemba mwaka huu katika uwanja wa Mwahima huko Likoni, kaunti ya Mombasa, tukikuletea matibabu ya bure. Huduma zitaanza kutolewa kuanzia saa 12 asubuhi hadi saa 11 jioni.
Pata huduma za bure kama vile uchunguzi wa saratani, shinikizo la damu, vipimo vya malaria, HIV, kliniki ya macho, ENT, msaada wa afya ya akili na mengine mengi.
Afya yako kipaumbele chetu.
For decades, Muhasibu Sacco has been dedicated to financially empowering our members. Now we are elevating our commitment to our members. As a newly regulated deposit-taking Sacco, Muhasibu is here for all professionals, offering secure and flexible products and services, all under one roof. Whether you're saving for a brighter future or investing in your dreams, become a member now and start your journey to financial success. Muhasibu DT Sacco, the Sacco for professionals.
Enjoy all-in-one solutions for your business with Network. Accept multiple payment methods and process all your business transactions on one device, whether it is M-Pesa, Airtel Money, Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay or Google Pay. Network does it all. It is faster, it is better, it is smarter. Get it for your business today by calling 0730 847 847.
Kama unataka kulima, disi inataka mbolea na maji. Hiyo tu.
Nimeona Barasa na Jaden wakiingia kwa Mark. Kama wamebeba zawadi na maua, ni nini inaendelea?
Dajukiz, mama yako alikufundisha kupika. Na mimi nikakufundisha kuendesha gari. Gari hili ni lako.
Soko, more than a meal.
New Downy refill pouches, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. Cap, store, and no need to add water. Serve with a Downy refill.
Royal Mabati Factory, your one-stop shop for affordable and quality guaranteed roofing solutions. Grab our stone-coated tile offers at only 603 shillings plus VAT. Pay 40%, get same-day production and enjoy free delivery. Call us on 0722 638383.
When your kids learn to be independent, you're giving them a great start. Prestige Margarine. It all starts with a great start. Now comes in the original and vanilla flavor.
Live in the moment, live a little today. What'll happen tomorrow? Who's to say? Life's too short to just be living.
I knew.
And welcome back. So the United States of America is set to hold its presidential election on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, in what promises to be a high-stakes contest between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Campaigns from both sides have been intensifying, particularly in crucial battleground states. Stephen Leto has more.
In a matter of hours, the final votes in the 2024 presidential election will be cast.
And we believe in opportunity.
As the Democrats and the Republicans face off yet again in a hotly contested race. The Democrats are putting their hopes on their candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris. If elected president, Harris will become the first female president in the United States, and she will also be the first black woman and person of South Asian descent to occupy the Oval Office.
You ready? In one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and we have momentum. It is on our side. Can you feel it?
Former President Donald Trump of the Republican Party is attempting a return to the White House, aiming to reclaim the presidency he lost to Joe Biden in 2020.
But all I can say is,
On Tuesday, just go out and vote, and we're going to close this thing out, and it's going to be party time. It's going to be party time.
However, Trump's path has been characterized by unprecedented legal and political obstacles, as he bears the distinction of being the first U.S. president to face criminal charges. Despite these controversies, Trump remains a dominant figure within the Republican Party, promising to make America great again. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have been holding a last call in trail of meetings to deliver their closing messages in the final hours before Election Day.
My dear friend Magic Johnson, go green!
Kamala Harris made her final addresses in Pennsylvania, including a star-studded rally in Philadelphia, while Trump made a last appeal in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. In the race to cross the 270 electoral votes mark, the two candidates are banking on the battlegrounds that includes Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Stephen Letos, Citizen TV.
And back home, as preparations gear up for the second edition of the Chepsaita cross-country run, slated for the 7th of December this year to be held in Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County, our reporter Boniface Baraza walks us through the journey of how the cross-country has turned out to be a game-changer in the lives of the participants who took part in the first edition of the cross-country held last year.
At Chepsaita village in Uasin Gishu County, we meet Selina Ngetich, who is 62 years old. And despite her age, Selina emerged among the winners who walked home with prizes. For her, she was awarded a cow that has changed the fortunes of her family.
Tangu nipate ng'ombe, nimefurahi sana. Nakamua ng'ombe, imenisaidia kwa maisha yangu. Nasaidia watoto yangu kwa shule. Haya, nimeanza sasa, nataka nichenge nyumba. Na mimi nataka leo ng'ombe ingine tena. Nilikimbia. Kwa hii umri wangu, umri wa 62, nilikimbia. Na naongojea kukimbia mwaka huu tena.
Few meters from Selina's homestead is Chepsaita Secondary School, which is undergoing a total facelift from classrooms, administration block and dormitory construction. Courtesy of Chepsaita Cross Country, under the sponsorship of Safaricom Foundation, which has donated 70 million shillings.
Hawa wanafunzi wote wamefurahi. Sisi kama Chepsaita tuko na furaha mingi. Kuwa shule kati ya mashule mingi tumesaidiwa kupata chengo mzuri, very nice dormitory, nice administration block. And as a school, we promise we are going to do better than the way we have been doing.
Safaricom Foundation wametuletea chengo ya kisasa kabisa ambaye tunaona hatuhitaji tena kutafuta mashule ya mbali kubwa kubwa, kwa sababu tayari maneno ambaye inafanyika kule kwenye national and mashule zingine za kitaifa sinaweza kupatikana hapa sasa.
But apart from nurturing athletic talents at an early stage and empowering the locals by changing their fortunes, what is the essence of the Chepsaita Cross Country?
Kukimbia hii ni ya masomo. Tuna matamanio kuwa milioni 16 ambayo itakuja kijiji hii. Itaweza kusaidia watoto ambao wesi kulipa fees. Shida ambazo siko mashinani mingi ni watoto ambao wako na talenta ya kukimbia, lakini wengi hawana fees kuweza kuendelea kwa masomo yao. Na talanta na masomo ikienda pamoja, watoto wanaweza faulu.
To many here in Chepsaita, the cross country has transformed the face of the local community from infrastructural facelift, including road construction and school construction. Boniface Barasa, Citizen TV.
And the High Court has ordered the government to compensate residents of Mathare, Wakairu, Mukuru, Kwa Ruben, and Kiamaiko, who were arbitrarily evicted from their homes for allegedly building on riparian land. The court ruled that the residents are entitled to a fair and just compensation for losses of personal, real, or other property or goods. In the case, the residents of Mathare, Wakairu, Mukuru, Kwa Ruben, and Kiamaiko had moved to court to challenge the state decision to evict them, arguing that they were never provided an alternative shelter and instead left homeless, exposing them to harsh weather conditions. Justice Anne Mogeni noted that the government must understand that they owe duty to the citizens to treat them right and respectfully. The court further directed that the money be paid out within 60 days of concluding the exercise in a report filed in court at the end of the 60 days of concluding the payments.
New report by the central bank shows widespread disparities in loan interest rates among top banks in the country, despite regulator lowering its lending rate to 12%.
As a parent, you want your little one to experience all that life offers. To touch the world with an open heart and curious mind. But the world, for all its beauty, holds unseen dangers. Germs, bacteria, tiny threats, waiting on every surface. Dettrex protects you and your family from disease-causing germs.
That's why I choose Dettrex.
Allowing the freedom to be yourself all day long.
Dettrex, endorsed by Kenya Progressive Nurse Association. Bidhaa bora kutoka Pwani Oil Limited.
Sasa,
Wasan,
ile stick ya zero sugar ni nini?
Ujui Club Zero? Hebu nikushow.
Festive seeded bread, zero added sugar, high in fiber and protein.
Mkate zero sugar.
Soma lebo.
Sasa mama Tosh, wewe kwa Club Zero? Nikose nichekwe. Aya, nipe mbili, moja ya babu, ingine ya shosho. Shosh. Mkate ya Club Zero, imagine.
Festive Zero and Festive Wholemeal, zero added sugar and reduced salt.
Napenda. Asante sana mwanangu. Na hii Festive Wholemeal ni yako babu. Imepunguzwa chumvi, soma lebo.
This is very good. Hii mkate ya Heritage ina chumvi nyingi, alafu ni ngumu.
Karibuni Club Zero.
Carefully read the food label before consuming your products. The balanced recipe with reduced salt and zero added sugar is good for you and your family.
Another goodie bag, another day, another winner. Umehakikisha kwanza ni 50,000? Umefikiria plan ya vile utafanyia do ama bado?
Nenda nijipange.
Uende ujipange vipoa. Shikilia ka goodie bag hapa, itakusaidia kufikiria mipango. That is your check of 50,000 shillings courtesy of Jipange Ushinde na View sasa.
Baadaye auntie.
Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 2 80-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit cadbury.africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
Amka nani? Dakika 10. Stacy anarudi job leo. Leave imeisha. Unaona ni kama tani notice this time? Ulikuwa wapi holiday?
Unakata umenona kiasi.
What? Ask her if she knows Raid.
Why?
Because she's radiant.
Hello, Mom. Ulipata do? Aya, sawa.
Enjoy the convenience of automating your regular payments with M-Pesa Ratiba, the easy-to-use mobile standing order service from M-Pesa. Download the M-Pesa app or dial *334#.
Oreo na Coca-Cola wamekuwa mabesti sana. Je, umejaribu the new Oreo Coca-Cola Limited Edition biscuits? Ni noma sana. Manze usiachwe nyuma.
Imagine, haiwezi live in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Molfix. Renewed Molfix, ultimate quality.
Only core span yarn with stretch. Pre-washed, color-fast, and shrink-proof so they last longer. Only specially reinforced side seams. Engineered for durability. Only superior cotton with stretch to hold shape and look perfect all day. The only chinos to choose. Chinos from 5,600 shillings.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Every day, Kenyans from all walks of life work tirelessly, dreaming of a secure future. Introducing the Taifa Pension Fund, a pension product for all, offering a safe and secure way to save for retirement. A future to trust, to dream, to live, to lead, to grow. Taifa Pension Fund, your national pension scheme. Karibu Nyumbani.
You are a woman of mystery, brushed with beauty. You are a woman of enigma, layered with personality. You are a woman of elegance, painted with desire. Presenting Mona Lisa, a new range of moisturizing lotions and creams enriched with the finest ingredients for 48-hour moisturization. For women who are art, for women who are beauty. New Mona Lisa. Come discover the art of beauty.
At Kidani Mabati, we provide strong and durable roofing solutions for homes and businesses. With our gauge 28 and 30 Mabati, available in various colors and finishes, you can choose the perfect style to suit your needs. Plus, we offer free delivery countrywide, ensuring your materials arrive safely and on time. Kidani Mabati is strong, reliable, and made to last. Call us toll-free today or visit our website to find out more. Kidani Mabati, Boresha Mjengo, Boresha Maisha.
At Liza School Naivasha, every sunrise brings new possibilities. With over 20 years of shaping futures, your child's potential knows no bounds. Here, learning goes beyond the classroom. Our CBC-compliant program equips students with the skills to excel in a rapidly changing world. Beyond academics, we nurture holistic growth through sports and clubs, unlocking every student's passion. Liza School Naivasha, where safety, excellence and opportunity create a home away from home. Partner with us for a holistic education that guarantees success. Liza School Naivasha, the model school in Africa.
Citizen Duka, the home of discount.
Najua unapanga kwenda shopping. Citizen Duka na Quickmart inakuletea ofa mpya ya mama mpenzi. For only 1,765 shillings unapata unga ya ugali ya 2 kg at 109 bob, unga ya chapati 2 kg at 149 bob, mchele ya basmati 2 kg at 649 bob, skari 2 kg at 279 bob, mafuta ya kupika 2 liters at 539 bob. Hizi zote ni less than 2,000 shillings, meaning una save 332 shillings ukitumia Citizen Duka. Piga *487*5#. Chagua Quickmart, then chagua mama mpenzi. Lipa na utapata message ya kwenda kuchukua package yako kwa Citizen Duka counter ya any Quickmart supermarket karibu na wewe.
Citizen Duka, the home of discount.
Kama unataka kulima, disi inataka mbolea na maji. Hiyo tu.
Nimeona Barasa na Jaden wakiingia kwa Mark. Kama wamebeba zawadi na maua, ni nini inaendelea?
Dajukiz,
mama yako alikufundisha kupika. Na mimi nikakufundisha kuendesha gari. Gari hili ni lako.
Soko, more than a meal.
Well, it's time now for some business news. A new report by the Central Bank of Kenya, that is the CBK, has revealed significant disparities in loan interest rates among the country's Tier 1 banks, underscoring a competitive yet complex lending landscape. The report, titled Commercial Banks' Weighted Average Lending Rates for the month of September this year, reveals the wide differences in lending rates in the market, with some banks lending at below 10%, while others charge well above 20% per annum for loans. According to the report, Cooperative Bank and DTB have the lowest lending rates among Tier 1 banks, with overall rates of 14.8% and 12.4% per annum, respectively. Premier Bank and Access Bank offer the most competitive rates across all tiers at 9% and 11.42% per annum. The report shows Middle East Bank had an overall lending rate of 21.52%. The release of the findings comes as both the government and the CBK push for lower lending rates to encourage growth in private sector credit. On October 8th this year, the CBK lowered its central bank rate from 12.75% to 12%, making the second consecutive rate cut. Now, the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Industry has started reviewing the Draft Business Laws Amendment Bill 2024, engaging key stakeholders from both the public and private sectors. The bill aims to enhance Kenya's framework for investment, trade, manufacturing and consumer protection. Jasmine Wamboy brings us the details.
The government has unveiled a reform plan to strengthen the business environment following extensive consultations with stakeholders in September this year. The Business Laws Amendment Bill targets various challenges, key among them being investment, consumer protection, exports and tax simplification for manufacturers.
This is a bill which is omnibus. It is actually amending 18 acts of parliament in relation to making the business environment more conducive and in relation to making sure that we are able to have a framework that can provide a much more stable business environment and a much more enabling environment for businesses to operate.
Earlier today, and in line with this, the ministry convened players in the private sector to consider the draft bill in readiness for the public participation stage of the bill. The private sector says that the bill, should it become an act, will be crucial in addressing issues that continue to weigh heavily on the sector.
trade is very disjointed in the way it operates, and it has allowed a lot of leakages and rent-seeking opportunities to appear, especially due to the lack of clarity of what is expected when you're setting up a business. So we are hoping all those things can be brought together, and then once they're together, that the county governments will then pick from that and able to streamline trade across the country.
The reason for the bill is timely because we've had a lot of different ministries, different agencies bringing taxes, bringing levies, and therefore the government looked uncoordinated from our view.
The private sector reckons a successful implementation of this bill, if passed, will hinge on the timely development of regulations to support its enforcement. Jasmine Wambui, Citizen TV.
Now, Kenya-based e-commerce startup Twiva is seeking to raise an additional $2.5 million, or roughly 323 million shillings, to fund its planned regional expansion. According to Twiva's CEO, Peter Kironje, the firm aims to raise this capital through both equity and debt. Jimmy Bogo has more.
Smile. Twiva's Series A funding round presents a prime opportunity for investors looking to enter the e-commerce ecosystem, as the company seeks to raise over 320 million shillings in capital to support its regional expansion. CEO Peter Kironje notes that Twiva is well positioned for this capital injection, having grown its revenue from $100,000 or 12.8 million shillings in 2020 to surpassing the 167 million shillings mark this year.
We have raised before pre-seed early last year, and now we have just opened our seed round for 1.5 debt, pure debt, and 1M on the equity side. And this will allow us to move with speed to execute our product roadmap, but of course to start to look at other East African market matters at scale, and of course to hire strategic talent to allow us to execute on our business plan and go-to-market strategy.
As part of its expansion strategy, Twiva has entered into an agreement with global e-commerce platform AliExpress to provide a broader range of products at a discounted rate. AliExpress aims to grow its revenue share from the African market, looking to double it from the current 3% to at least 7% of total company revenue. The partnership is also expected to reduce shipping times to 10 days.
So we have the prediction that at least 7% of the revenue should come from the African. Before the end of this year, we can optimize the shipping period within 10 days.
Through the partnership, we have been able to negotiate for better wholesale pricing point, and then that allows us to also have a competitive and recommended retail pricing point to the customer. So it's a good partnership for the end consumer who is buying this product, but it's also good for the reseller because they have up to 40% gross margin that they can benefit from.
The cheaper the better for the consumers as well, right? Like, because even now already, if you're shopping on Instagram, all these Instagram shops are having like super high markups,
yeah.
And it becomes very difficult to buy products, and most people actually think that it's overcharged because we already know where they're sourcing their products from.
In its expansion, Twiva aims to create at least 50,000 jobs for young influencers by the end of the year, with projection to triple that number by the close of 2025. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now, Kenya is quickly embracing snail farming as an alternative to other forms of agriculture, with snails increasingly seen as a potential source of food as well as income for farmers. At the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, that's JKUAT, a team of scientists is taking it a step further, harvesting snail slime and using it to make skin products. Edward Shea visited JKUAT and tells us the story in our Made in Kenya segment.
In this lab at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology Department of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Paul Kinoti and his team are busy. This team is specializing in unconventional farming methods, focusing on snail farming and its benefits.
Our focus is how we can make use of snails, which traditionally are considered by Kenyans abhorred. We do cosmetics and body skin care products, such as soaps, creams, and shower gel. We are also focusing on a research on pharmaceutical, where we are developing a product with our partners on what we call the cough syrup.
Dr. Kinoti uses snail slime to make these products. Here, he is rearing the giant African land snails, which he says are classified as wildlife and have been approved by the Kenya Wildlife Service.
So we use a simple method which involves use of deionized water or distilled water, and we use citric acid. From this, we are able to treat the snails by washing them, and then from there we are able to preserve it, either by freezing or we can use a preservative. Each snail is expected to generate 4 milliliter of slime per day times 2. So we are talking of 8 ml per day. According to the standards for an effective cosmetic for the snail slime, at least 60% of the slime must be pure. So the other ingredients will be about 40%. Our product also involve addition of a sunscreen, and we are using zinc oxide, which is compatible. We also add other ingredients like olive oil.
Perhaps you are wondering why snail slime and not other raw material. Dr. Kinoti says through research, snail slime has been found to have positive effects on human skin.
It has collagen, and collagen is known to make the skin supple. It also moisturizes, and it has anti-aging effect. It's able to remove dead cells. It is also antibacterial, so it has been associated with healing of wounds and burns. It's organic, and people are running away from use of chemicals.
JKUAT tested the products as the market dictates, and Dr. Kinoti says the response was positive.
One is the people who have a skin issue, that is people who are considered people with albinism, because of the effect of the UV. And the response was very good. The other group is the students. We tried to distribute some of the product, and we got the response. The response was fantastic.
Going forward, Dr. Kinoti says the aim is to change perception about snail slime products among their target customers and encourage more people to get into snail farming.
We expect that we will slowly be trying to change people's perception towards accepting this product. Economically, I look forward to see a future where the youths can be able to embark in this particular activity, generate income, and of course address the issue of unemployment.
Most people loathe snails, but as researchers have found, snails have benefits, and one of the benefits is their slime. And as Dr. Paul Kinoti says, they are now turning snail slime into useful products such as this snail cream here, which are helping people improve their skins, or for those people who have skin conditions and they want to treat them. Edward Chaya, Made in Kenya, Citizen TV.